Kakalosh Boker Or, Bekiim Halacha 5, day 92, page 248. We are on Siman Mem, Siman 40, and Halacha Kafchet. So now we're talking about, are you allowed to drink a beverage when you are wearing tefillin? Again, page 248. So the Halacha Kafchet comes and it says like this: Asur lishto mashke charif. So you're not allowed to drink any alcoholic beverage, whether it's going to be whiskey, arak, liquor, if it's going to be a kabetza, which is 54 ounces of this these liquids, as long as the tefillin are on you. But you're allowed to drink as much as you want of tea, coffee, and any other types of soft drinks, right, without any problem whatsoever. Now, he says, the Kaf HaChaim says that it's permitted to drink beverages while wearing tefillin, and the Dud Magen Avraham said that you're not allowed to if it's going to be more than a kabetza. This is only alcoholic beverages. That's what it says in the Kaf HaChaim. So therefore, basically, an alcoholic beverage, you can't. But if it's not alcoholic, you could do whatever you want. Now, what about a shot in honor of a yortzeit? So we don't have this that much, but there does exist in certain circles that they come and they want you to have a shot, and that's liluni shmat, right? If you think about it, it sounds a little bit weird. Imagine, like I remember there was the first time I went. Okay, they were a little bit more conservative, but I was by a funeral and they just buried the person, and all of a sudden they're having shots, and you're like, think to yourself, like, what? Like, like, what? Who's the party? You know what I'm saying?
They go to the bar.
Yeah, so that's the exact same thing. So he says over here, in many synagogues, especially among Hasidic congregations, when someone observes the yortzeit of loved one, what happens is he brings a bottle of schnapps for people to drink a shot or two after the tefillah. According to the halachot explained here, if anyone is still wearing tefillin, there's a limit, right? Why? Because you can't have more than a kabetza. You can't have more than 54 ounces. So he says the Shulchan Aruch remarked that according to the Shulchan Shlomo, who ruled that in our times it's forbidden to even to snack while wearing tefillin. So for sure, you're not to drink anything of an intoxicating beverage. If someone plans to continue wearing tefillin to study Torah, however, then the Over Orach comes and he rules that you could have a snack. So according to this, so then you could also have a little bit of a drink. As explained above in the Halacha, this does not follow the opinion of the Shulchan Shlomo. Even in our times, right, it's permissible to snack while you're wearing tefillin, and therefore you could drink a little bit. Again, you could have a little tiny bit of a liquid. Imagine a person's learning and they have their talit and tefillin on. Now they want to have concentration in their learning. They want to litrakez. So what do they want to do? They want to smoke. So he says it's going to be mutar. But he says, but you should know that you're not supposed to smoke at all. Because since already it's brought down that it's not good at all. You understand? Meaning that it's not good for the health. So then you shouldn't smoke at all. But if a person is going to come and they're going to smoke, so therefore that they have it over here. So here it quotes in the bottom in 348. He comes and he says like this. He says the response Ephraim. He says that it's forbidden to smoke while wearing tefillin, right? But he said and suggested that it's equal to eating a snack. So therefore they said if you could eat a snack, so you could smoke. But the Peri Yaakov compromise, he says that it is forbidden in the view of others. But in the privacy of your home, if you're addicted to it, you could do it. And Kud Yosef added that if it will enable the person to concentrate more, so then it should be permitted. Right? And that's what's also brought down in the Piskei Teshuvot. The Shulchan Shlomo wrote that it's forbidden to use snuff while wearing tefillin. Since in practice we follow the opinion that it's permissible to snack while wearing tefillin, as explained above. So he says, nonetheless, that Rishon LeZion says that cigarette smoking should be avoided altogether because he's proven to wreak havoc on one's health. And that's also the Shevet HaLevi. So that means basically Rav Ovadia and the Shevet HaLevi were saying, if already now it's already proven that it's something bad, so therefore it's going to be an isur. There is a tshuva of Rav Moshe Feinstein, by the way, that he speaks about, like all these, drugs and other things as well, where he says the same thing. Where basically is that the second it becomes a sur because of that it's not healthy, so then there's not, we're speaking about tefillin, not tefillin, but, we have halachot beforehand. Fine. Siman Mem Aleph. There's a new siman. Okay, 41. Now we're talking about, are you allowed to carry something when you have tefillin on your head? Okay, a lot of people make this mistake to do with Amidah. I've seen people that come in Amidah, it's mamash, it's sad because they don't, and when you want to teach them halachot, they're never there. So it's very difficult because how do they learn? So they come into the thing, they start carrying a backpack, right? Or they start carrying something and they're starting to say Amidah, right? Or they come and they start doing this, or hands in their pockets, or all these things that you're like, Ribono Shalom, you're in the middle of Amidah, you're speaking to Hashem, right? Well, now, hands in the pockets. I saw the other day a guy like this, saying Amidah. I'm like, listen, he's not your buddy. You understand? Like, this is not the, this is Melech Malchem Lachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. This is not the, but again, they don't know halachot, and then it becomes very difficult because even if I would teach it in halachot after Shachrit, they're never there. So if they're never there, and even if they were there, they left, or they're not listening, or things like that. So then it's a catch-22. You understand? Like it won't change. But again, are you allowed to carry something with the tefillin? Huh?
The picture.
So he says, "Hanose masar rosho tzarich lachlotz tefillin shel rosh ad shiyasid masah." So imagine you're carrying something on your head. So first take off the tefillin shel rosh, and then you could carry it, right? Va'afilu mitpachto, right? Asur laniach al rosh sheyesh bo tefillin. So even mamash any size, mamash a handkerchief, right? You're not allowed to. So the lachen tzarich lizek shelovesh tefillin bebeto veolech lebet knesset ubau geshamim. שלא יניח מטפחת על ראשו להגן על גשמים, אלא יסיר התפילין של ראש מעל ראשו ויצניעם בחיקו, ואחר כך יניח את המטפחת. Meaning like this, imagine right now you have like some type of a rain, I don't know what you want to call it, right? Something for the rain on your head. So you're going to put that on your head to protect yourself from the rain, because it's raining. But you've got the tefillin there. So what you would have to do is you would have to take off the tefillin shel rosh, put on this, I don't know how it says it in English, something on the head. He just says a cloth on the head to protect himself from the rain. I wouldn't have called it a cloth. I would have called it a plastic head covering, but whatever, it doesn't matter. It's basically the concept is that you have to first take off the tefillin, and then you're going to come and put this on. Okay, so he says, aval, davar shedarko litem brosho, kegon kova umitznefet mutar, but something that's normal to put on the head, for example, a hat. So it's normal to put a hat on. So it's normal to put on a hat. You don't have to take off the tefillin shel rosh and then put on the hat. You could put the tefillin shel rosh, ve'az kova me'al. Right? And then that's it. And then you don't have the problem. Okay? What about to take out the garbage and you have the tefillin? So it says, Leotzi zevel al rosho afilu me'at asur, right? Even if you're going to be a lot of rotten, whatever it is, it's going to be asur. Vafilu she'aniach hamasur b'tzadadin shalom minkom tefillin asur. It's going to be asur. Ki ze bizayon. Right? Kol hakavod. Yeah, ki ze bizayon letefillin shel rosho. Because then that's going to be a bizayon for the tefillin. Okay, next halacha gimel. Kol ha'amaru legabe tefillin shel rosh. Everything that we talked about tefillin shel rosh, אבל לגבי tefillin shel yad, מותר לשים על ראשו מבעוד תפילין של יד מונחות עליו, ואפילו להוציא זבל בראשו מותר, שאין בזה ביזיון תפילין שבידו, כיוון שמכוסים. Meaning, the tefillin shel yad are usually always covered. The tefillin shel rosh are always revealed. That's why it says, וראו כל עמי הארץ כי שם השם נקרא לך. Right? He says, ויראו ממכה, that's אלו תפילין שבראש. Why is that the tefillin shel barash? Because the tefillin shel yad are always covered. So since the tefillin shel yad are always covered, so you don't have that problem, right? And that's why there's an inyan to cover the tefillin shel yad. A lot of people, they don't realize that. That's why they make in Israel even sleeves that they come and they put them on the tefillin shel yad. You understand? Like mamash. Yeah, a sleeve. I've seen it. No, Makash is basketball. It's a long sleeve that you come and you put it on, right? In order that you have long sleeves, right? So what happens? They come and they put on the tefillin, but now, so they come and they put on this long sleeve. Why? Because אני ראיתי את זה בארץ, זה מאוד מעניין. זה היה קול. אני לא יודע. אבל ראיתי את זה בעברית. ראיתי את זה בארץ. Yeah? So you come and he says this. So he says, what happens is that since the tefillin shel yad are always covered, so you don't have this problem. The problem is only going to be if it's going to be on top. He says, Ulam, אין לעשה מסע על ידו במקום התפילין, יש מסע משקל 4 קבין. But you shouldn't come and you shouldn't carry something if the load is heavier than 4 kavs, which is 5 kilograms and 11 pounds. 5.18 kilograms or 5.5 kilograms, kilos. That's actually a very heavy weight, 5.5 kilos. We're not talking about pounds, we're talking about kilos. Okay? So he comes and he says, right, וכן אין לשאת מסע של זבל על ידו, or garbage, אף שהתפילין מכוסים בבגדו, כיוון שיש ביזיון לתפילין של בגד, again, it's going to be a ביזיון. Okay? The last הלכה, כתב בספר חסידים, לא יישא דבר בין אצילי ידיו. Don't carry something underneath the, how do you call this? The אצילי ידיו, underneath the armpits, thank you. שהרי מבדיל בין תפילין לליבו, is making הבדל between the tefillin and his heart. ואף על פי שהבגדים מבדילים, and even though the בגדים are going to be מבדילים, אין זו הבדלה שכן דרכו. So that's not considered הבדלה, but that's normal. Meaning, since it's normal to do such a thing, right, that at the end of the day, it's normal for one's body to be clothed, so it's not like a real, pasek or a real, hefsek that you're doing it and there's no problem. So you have a problem of doing this, of carrying this load, right, in between your armpits and the tefillin shel yad. So therefore, he says, don't carry anything. Okay?